You and do nothing. Just watching these two. Yep. Yeah. No. So. All right. Let's resume our conversation. Another thing about discourse maps. So we talked about job interview and buying a car are some examples. The other reason why I love discourse maps is it definitely helps you identify transitions that many times in our work is missing. I see that with not just with students, but I sometimes see that with working with interpreters who, in English, a lot of those transitions are not always so explicit, but you as a listener know a transition's being made. Okay? And again, if we're working on a literal word-to-word level, unfortunately, those implicit transition markers will not present themselves in a cell. And then it's really hard to watch that. And the best way that I can give you to explain is it's like typing, a 15-minute presentation, right? I said typewriter like anybody. Do you know what that is? Yeah, okay. So on your keyboard, you're typing, imagine a 15-minute lecture with no periods, no punctuation, nothing. Okay? That's what our signing looks like when we don't have a good command of cohesion strategies or transitions, right? So that's another thing when you go back and watch your videos. Yes, the teacher naturally took a break and your hands go down, but when someone is maybe speaking at a faster rate, they're providing a lot of dense information, you can still hear when a sentence begins or ends. You hear when a new topic is being introduced. I would even challenge you on Brenda's class for the College of Nursing. I'll have students like, oh, she's totally monotone. Like, not entirely monotone. She's not. Because you still know when she's asking a question. You still know when she wants to provide an example. You still know that she's moving on to a new topic. So she is not completely flat. Her projection is different, right? So it would look bad if I'm standing next to Brenda and I'm doing some sort of theatrical performance up there, and I might frighten her, right? But you as listeners still know that, okay? So this idea that I just go on autopilot and just, she's really boring is not a fair, or nor is it an accurate interpretation, okay? That's what I mean by we have to have good transitions, cohesion, and it is the glue of our work. I was trying to help you with visuals, very sophisticated visuals in my PowerPoint. Thank you. Okay. See, Jackman's got to deal with my sarcasm. Who's having fun now? Okay. I missed. Just move on to it. Oh, where'd my discourse type go? Did I skip that? Well, I'm going to talk about it now because let me go back to that one slide. I see I changed it. Oh, it's right in there. I got it. Okay. Who remembers from long, long time ago in your school times in high school, what are some different discourse types? So one hint to get you started is a narrative discourse, right? And so if I know that my presenter or teacher's doing a story, okay, that's a clear narrative. Someone's coming to class to share their life story. That's a lot of narrative, okay? And so there are some grammatical features or discourse features that will present itself because I know it's a narrative. What tense are narratives often in? So you said present tense.
No, I think it's actually
Now it's actually past tense, right? So it is usually done in the past. Why does that matter? Interpreters will get caught sometimes when they're working from ASL to English. What are some things that native users do in communication?
Well, what I'm thinking for narrative is a lot of it's past tense, but sometimes they'll break and go into the present tense to like relate it with something that's going on in their own life and
Yes.
move it back to the past tense.
Yes, okay, so you jumped ahead to a very good point, and I thank you for that. And so she's right. I could be there to, there will be a blend of discourse types. So, for example, if I am doing an explanatory discourse, I'm providing you education, I want you to learn, it might be interspersed with some narratives in there, right? Because I'm telling a story, so that's going to change what are going to be some language features that present themselves, right? But just looking at them in isolation first, before we all get complicated, and make our heads like, yeah.
So in ASL, you set up the tense at the beginning, and then that's that until it changes tense?
Correct. Okay, so very good. How ASL identifies time is really important. Okay, it happens at the beginning. And you're not going to keep seeing past. Only if they want to change the tense. Or it can be implicit when a deaf person moves into what ASL feature do they often use? Two tell stories. I was about to call your name, which is funny. Stories, when they tell stories. What ASL feature, Tori, might show up? Gosh. What do I talk about all the time? Yes. All right. And so when native users begin to use depiction and they start to role shift, it looks like they're in what tense? Present, right? And if you don't know that you should be using indirect speech and keeping it in past tense, you can have a failed interpretation, right? Just like little things like that. Narratives tend to have a lot of flashbacks in it. And so if you're looking at your packet right now, like I see him doing, in your blue packet for discourse mapping, you will see that lovely chart of all the different discourse types. And it will show you what are some typical language features that you might find. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Okay. So as a team, what I would do, because I don't have it there, but you know that I have the handout. So what I try to do is I try to show it to my team just to give her some sort of, seriously, like I hold handouts to my team. And if I know that the teacher is referencing a part on the page that's up, not on the slide, if I just hold it up, they're like, really? I have nothing. But, and if that's just the idea, like being able to assess, oh, it's a chart, oh, and there's, here's the different discourse type, and here are the features, then at least I have the visual of how I can set it up in space. If the teacher's talking about a specific piece on the handout, trust me, I do this all the time, I will point on the paper for my team, this is where she's at, right? Because we don't always have it on the PowerPoint as I'm displaying right now, okay? That's why as a team member, you want to have your papers ready to go. I'm following along like a student, and I want to share that with my team so that we know what's going on, all right? So understanding discourse types is really important. Your WCTC is a mix of explanatory and procedural, right? So procedural, what are some very important language features that I have to incorporate if I know that it's a procedural discourse? Yeah, sorry.
First,
Yep.
next, second.
It's chronological, right? So it's a sequence of things I need you to do. What tense is it in?
Present.
Present or future, right? So I have to tell you what the step is before you do it. So the next thing you're going to do, that is future. It hasn't happened, all right? So that should look a certain way in my ASL, right? A procedural discourse in my prosody, in my rhythm, looks different than me telling a story, right? But if we were to go back and watch our videos, would people be able to pick up on those nuances? And deaf people would pick up on that unconsciously. They're not like, oh, thank you, interpreter, for providing me a procedural discourse. This is great. No, but the way that it's expressed they get it. They're following the steps. So first I'm supposed to do this, or next I should do that. Okay? Okay. You okay? Just mess with me. All right. So Tamaje and Jacqueline and I were having a conversation about argumentative and persuasive discourse. If you could sum up what is the distinction between an argumentative discourse versus a procedural discourse, what would you say it is? I'm going to go to LJ on this one. Remember your public speaking class?
I'm not big into that.
Yeah. You guys all blacked that class out. Like, no, I remember that one. That's not hard.
For persuasive, it's more of like you're trying to get someone to believe in your own idea.
Yep. Okay.
And argumentative is more like facts.
Yes. Yeah, very good. Okay. So argumentative and persuasive start the same typically, right? An argumentative piece is I'm just sharing my this is what I believe, or this is what these are my facts, like this is why we should, or this is why I believe in this, or why I want to do this, and here's my information. Persuasive takes that and says, here's why you should do it. So I use voting as an example, right? So I like this candidate because of their voting record, their promotion of these certain policies. I like how they think about these certain issues. Here are the long-term benefits of decisions that this particular candidate has made. That's it. I'm just, this person's a really good candidate. I like it, and I think he's right for our state. Okay, blah, blah, blah. You should vote for this candidate. Here's why, right? Here's what you should do. Now I'm taking that argument, and now I'm saying why I want you to take action on that. What does that look like in ASL? What would change there? Well, how would my body language change? How would I communicate? Okay, so I already started to do the lean, like, okay, now there are things I'm going to communicate with my head nodding, or my movement, or like, this is really, you need to do this, right? Like, yeah, you're like, yeah, I need to do this. That's what we hear in English, okay? That needs to come through. That kind of stuff. So that's why understanding discourse types is one thing that we will definitely do, and understanding the different discourse features that present itself. So, I did buy 2 monsters today. I'm not going to drink them yet, but I'm going to eat them. Got a long day today. It's a good day though. All right. So I think you get the point of. I went the wrong way. You can go your own way. Here, isn't that Stevie Mac or something? Okay, I don't know who it is. Why it matters. Pay attention to the slide. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Why it matters. 1, you recognize discourse types, which I just gave you some examples. Okay. In certain discourse types, certain linguistic features are going to present themselves. Right? So I just gave you some quick, simple ones, like procedural. It's going to be chronological. Narrative is going to have some flashback. It's going to be in past tense. Narratives will have character interaction. Right? English has character interaction. It may sound different than what it might look like in American Sign Language. Right? We're also going to learn about clues. Okay? There are words in English, and there are signs, for example, that let me know, oh, a list is coming. Okay? Oh, a comparison is coming. They are actual words that are said. Okay? That let me know, oh, compare and contrast. Or a cause and effect. Right? What ASL feature do we use for cause and effect? Conditional. Okay? Very good. All right? If this, then that. All right? Problem solution. Right? So there are certain words that I have. It's also in your packet a list of some cue words. Okay? And this will probably be the one part that students often get confused on, and it's okay. We'll work on this and review it several times, but that's another thing too. So when I know I get some clues from what I'm hearing, I can already start to set up my space, right? So if I know a comparison's happening, if I know that a list is coming, right? I can do this, I can do this. Sorry, I can use my hand, I can use this. Space, I know I'm going to be referencing that. Like I can do all those things because I heard that word, even though he or she may not have said anything at that point. Right? I'm going to start giving you more examples so you understand that. But the whole piece of discourse map is we just want better prosody overall, right? We want to be able to control the output that we put on our hands, right? Yeah.
Prosody.
Rhythm, cadence, right? Just flow. We want good flow as interpreters, right? Because sometimes you'll get feedback both in voicing and in signing that you look very robotic, right? That's not good control of prosody. There's not a lot. Sometimes you'll get feedback that it looks really choppy, where your pausing was done in unnatural ways, right? We do that a lot with voicing. Hello, I am Pam. Cotton, yes, I got it. Right? That's a silly example, but that's not good prosody. That's not how we do it. But ASL also has prosody, right? Just watching, Marika and the other instructors, as you develop the sophistication, you'll pick up on some of the things that they do that show that actually they did end that sentence. They actually did. They blinked to let you know that they were moving on to a topic. Yeah, it was just one eye. Like, what? And so when we slow down videos and you're like, no way, I totally missed. They're like, yeah, right? I'm trying to train your brain to recognize those very subtle things that native users do, right? And it's not just watching it, but now I want you to copy that stuff. Leah and I are having a